Today, I will take a new topic related with the general awareness, which is different from your syllabus, but it is one of the important topic that I want to take today with reference to the awareness about the Nobel Prizes in 2019. Today, I will focus on the Nobel Prize related with the field of medicine in 2019. What was the discovery, or we can say that what was the area in which that prize was given? Let's have a share of this research in field of medicine related with the Nobel Prize winner in field of medicine. Now let's start with the history of Nobel Prize. With the help of this video, we are getting the knowledge about Nobel Prize.
Imagine yourself in a chamber of treasures. Here lie some of the world's most innovative ideas, tidings that changed the world, thoughts that changed people, discoveries that changed science, action that saved lives. This is a treasure trove of the greatest steps of progress for humankind. And it all started with one idea, one man, and his name was Alfred Nobel. It's the 19th century. The world is changing at a rapid pace. And in the midst of it all is Alfred. Like his father, he is also an inventor. Together, they start to experiment with a dangerous compound, nitroglycerin. Their goal is to use the explosive in a way that would improve its stability without loss of power. But this work is risky, and the family is struck with a fatal tragedy. Their laboratory explodes, causing the death of Alfred's younger brother, Emil. Alfred continues his work by adding diatomite, a soft powder made from fossil remains, to the nitroglycerin. He develops a safer material that's easier to work with. Nobel calls his creation dynamite. The demand for this invention reaches enormous proportions in the mining industry, and it is used extensively in factories, for large construction projects, and by corporations worldwide. Alfred Nobel becomes a very wealthy man. Alfred Nobel dies in 1896, but shortly before this he decides what he is going to do with his wealth. One can argue perhaps his best idea yet. He has many relatives, but no direct family, no wife, and no children. Therefore, he decides to establish a prize to award those who are conferred to have contributed for the greatest benefit to humankind. It is to be called the Nobel Prize. This award will be divided into different categories. Physics, chemistry, and medicine are obvious choices due to their significance in his own research. But Alfred Nobel also has a passion for poetry, something he himself wrote in his youth. So literature is chosen as another prize category. Being a cosmopolitan man with a commitment to the growing peace movement, he chooses to dedicate the last category to peace. In 1968, a sixth prize was added, Sveriges Riksbank Prize in Economic Sciences, in memory of Alfred Nobel. For over 100 years, the Nobel Foundation has managed the assets made available through the will of Alfred Nobel to nominate and reward, to review and announce, and of course, to orchestrate the grand ceremony awarding those who live and serve in accordance with his ideal. Over the years, the number of Nobel laureates has multiplied, including men and women all over the globe, both famous and lesser known. The courage, creativity, and curiosity of these laureates inspire us and give us hope for the future of humankind.
This was the history of Nobel Prize. I think you have already heard about it. Now, in today's class, we will discuss that on which topic the research in medicine has been done to won that Nobel Prize. Now, have a glance on it. Now, here is the speaker's manuscript Medicine Prize 2019 How Cells Adapt to Oxygen Availability. This was the field in which 2019 Nobel Prize in Medicine has been awarded. The Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine uh, was the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine is one of the five prizes founded by Alfred Nobel and awarded on December 10 every year. Before Alfred Nobel died on December 10, 1896, he wrote in his will that the largest part of his fortune should be placed in a fund. The yearly interest on this fund would pay for a prize given to those who during the preceding year shall have conferred the greatest benefit to humankind. Now, who is rewarded with the Medicine Prize? This is the introduction about the Medicine Prize. The Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine is thus awarded to people who have either made a discovery about how organisms work or have helped find a cure for a disease. Maybe next prize in medicine about the vaccine of corona. And now, can we get some clue from this that you will decide at the end of the class? This is a May Britt Moser 2014 Nobel laureate in medicine. In 2005, she and Edward Moser discovered a type of cell in the brain that is important for determining one's position. They also found that those cells cooperate with different nerve cells in the brain that help us to navigate. You can say that the laureates discovered and explained a kind of GPS system in the brain. Other medicine laureates include in this field Francis Crick, James Watson, Morris. About Francis Crick, you will uh, learn in molecular basis of heredity, and James Watson and Morris Wilkins, who received 1962 prize for their discoveries and description about the structure of DNA molecules. Alexander Fleming, Ernst Chain, and Howard Florey, who received the 1945 prize for the discovery of penicillin and its curative effects on bacterial diseases are some of the Nobel Prizes in the field of medicine. Now we will talk about the 2019 Medicine Prize, means last year's Medicine Prize research. The 2019 Medicine Prize is about what happens in the cells if they receive too much or too little oxygen. When the amount of oxygen increases or decreases inside a cell, it must adapt itself. Means here is also adaptation going on. And recently we have discussed about the adaptations related with the physiology, or physiological adaptations are present in animals to fight against their different physiological conditions or to make them suitable to live in a proper manner in that particular environment by doing that physiological adaptation. This is one part of that physiological adaptation itself. The 2019 Nobel laureates have found out what reactions then occur in the cell, what substances are active, and how they affect each other. The Nobel laureates related with this discovery or related with this research, the 2019 Nobel laureates William G. Callan, Junior Sir Peter J. Ratcliffe, and Greg L. Samanja did their research in 1990s. They contributed various pieces to the puzzle, and as a result, we now have a detailed picture of how cells adapt to body's oxygen supply. All cells in the body need oxygen, according to this uh, discovery. The body is made up of many billions of cells. Just a candle needs oxygen in order to burn. Each cell needs oxygen in order to live. Without oxygen, a cell cannot convert food into usable energy. The cell uses this energy to perform many different tasks that are important so that we can function and feel well. The reaction in which food is converted into energy is called cellular respiration, about which you have already learned in class uh, 10th also and 11th also in animal physiology and plant physiology. Transporting oxygen through the body. The red blood cells performs the task of picking up oxygen in the lungs and then transporting it to all the cells in our body. The benefits of that. The laureates' discoveries under this Nobel Prize in Medicine in 2019 uh, have given us new knowledge about human physiology. That is, how our organs and tissues function. We now understand better what happened during fetal development, exercise, and adaptation to high altitude. We know more about how our metabolism and immune systems are affected by oxygen availability. The laureates' discoveries have also increased our knowledge about disease or diseases like anemia and cancer. Hopefully, this will enable us to develop new medicines in the field of medicine in coming future. We make knowledge, that is what I do. This is the statement. Right after 2019 prize announcement, one of the laureates, Sir Peter J. Ratcliffe, was interviewed and he talked about the importance of basic research. Research that is pursued without any objective other than gaining new knowledge. Sir Peter believes that a researcher doesn't always know or need to know what benefits this new knowledge may lead to. Basic research enables us to increase our collective knowledge. This often eventually leads to new applications such as new medicines that they have done. And many scientists are doing to find out the medicine as well as vaccine for the corona in today's date also. Now, with that, I think you will be able to understand what was the main discovery included in the field of medicine in 2019 Nobel Prize. Now, have a slideshow to recall or to revise the main facts related with that again. Medicine Prize 2019, How Cells Adapt to Oxygen Availability. The Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine, the person who shall have made the most important discovery within the domain of physiology or medicine. Who is rewarded with the medicine prize? People who have either made a discovery about how organisms work or have helped find a cure for disease or for a disease. The 2019 medicine prize suggests us that what happens in cells if they receive too much or too little oxygen. The Nobel laureates for this prize are these three who have collectively won this prize. William G. Callan George Jr., born in 1957 in USA. Sir Peter J. Radcliffe, born in 1954 United Kingdom. And Grega L. Semenja, born in 1956 USA, for their discoveries of how cells sense and adapt to oxygen availability. Now, all cells in the body need oxygen. Just as a candle need oxygen in order to burn, cells in the body need oxygen to order to live. Transporting oxygen through the body, where the important role is played by our red blood cells, which transport oxygen to all of the cells in our body. Variations in oxygen availability lead to adaptation. The body must adapt quickly if oxygen levels change inside the body or in the atmosphere, like in case of vigorous exercise, in case of uh, fetal development, and a mountaineerist when climbing over the mountains. Here, these are the conditions and angiogenesis, erythropoiesis, metabolic adaptations, which are related with this adaptation of the oxygen in our cell. Physiology. In physiology, you can see that metabolism, exercise, embryonic development, immune response, altitude adaptation, and respiration. In that field, that research will help us to understand. And in pathophysiology, it will help us to treat against these diseases like anemia, cancer, stroke, infection, wound healing, and myocardial infarction. These are the major challenges in today's date in our field of medicine, where we can get the benefit of that discovery. Now, St. Peter J. Radcliffe, 2019 Nobel laureate, has quoted that we make knowledge, that's what I do. For the greatest benefit to humankind, and now at the end, we will see the experts' opinion about this Nobel Prize research.
The Nobel Prize 2019, this year, in physiology or medicine, is given to three researchers: William Callan,
Sir Peter Ratcliffe, and Greg Semenza. And they get the prize for their groundbreaking discoveries about how all the cells in our body reacts to lack of oxygen and can adapt to different levels of oxygen. And they get the prize for a series of groundbreaking discoveries that explains to us how all cells in our body react and adapt to different levels of oxygen. This is important because it's an explanation of a very central mechanism in the cell. But if we talk about how this can help patients, there are two possible ways of expressing this. One is that certain tumors, certain cancers, actually thrive and expand and grow because of these oxygen responsive mechanisms. They, for example, get more vessels so that they can grow and take over in the body. On the other side, it's also so that, for example, in patients with renal failure, when the kidneys do not work, they get anemia, too few red blood cells, because they don't have enough of this hypoxia reacting mechanism. And then already there are new drugs that potentially can bridge this problem and actually improve anemia, improve blood levels in patients with severe renal failure.
I think you have enjoyed today's class with a change that we have taken out of your syllabus, or we can say that something out of the way from your syllabus centered um, curriculum. Okay, uh, now I will share with you one assignment related with this class. Please try to do it and use this idea and uh, innovate some other ideas related with the Nobel Prize 2019 in medicine, and you will definitely get benefit of this class in your higher studies when you will also do some work in the field of biology at that level, and also it will help you to prepare for your competitive exams in whatever fields of biology or applicable applied biology you want to move after class 12th. Okay, all the best to all of you. I will share this sheet with you so that you can do this exercise, or give in this exercise you have to think over what is the most interesting thing about the laureate's work in this Nobel Prize in the field of medicine 2019. And Alfred Nobel wanted the work of the Nobel laureates to have conferred the greatest benefit to humankind. What will be the greatest benefit of the 2019 laureates achievements? Okay, now how can this research help us to our today's challenging task to make a medicine or vaccine against the COVID 19? Also, you can write points in that one. With that, I end our today's class. Have a nice day.